So how does someone go from being a total failure to becoming this, like, global symbol of unstoppable mental and physical toughness? Well, in this explainer, we're going to dive into the 5 core lessons from David Goggins, a man who literally turned his absolute lowest point into a blueprint for building unbreakable commitment. Okay, let's just set the stage here. The mission for David Goggins was monumental. To even get a shot at qualifying for the Navy SEALs, he had to lose around 50 kilograms. That's about 110 pounds. I mean, just think about that for a second. That is a massive physical transformation. But here's the real kicker. He had a totally insane timeline to do it in. Just 2 months. This wasn't just some goal, it was an ultimatum. Do it or the dream is dead. So, how on earth did he even start? Now, you'd think a story like this would start with some big, triumphant first step, right? But nope. Goggins' journey did not start with a win. It started with a crushing, deeply personal, and honestly, pretty embarrassing defeat. So on day 1, he is amped up. He's full of determination. He sets out to run 5 kilometers, picturing himself as this new, disciplined person. He's ready to go. He is all in. But after just 400 meters, that's it. He was so out of breath that he just had to stop. He walked home, and you can just imagine every single step just filling him with disappointment. He couldn't even run half a kilometer. And what did he do when he got home? He turned to his old crutch, comfort food. He tried to just numb that feeling of shame and frustration with milkshakes and chocolate donuts. We've all been there, right? And this is where it got really dark. That one small failure, it triggered a lifetime of negativity and self-doubt. All the critics, all those voices in his head that said he'd never amount to anything, they just came rushing back. And in that moment, he started to believe them. So he's right there, on the edge of quitting everything, and he just randomly puts on an old Rocky movie. He's watching the final brutal round of the big fight, and he sees Rocky, just battered and beaten, get knocked flat, but then he forces himself back to his feet. And right then, something just shifted. He realized he had a choice. He threw that milkshake straight in the trash, put his shoes back on, and went right back out to face the pain again. This time, he pushed through and finished 1.5 kilometers. You see, that painful initial failure wasn't the end of the story. Not even close. It was the beginning. It became the very foundation for the most profound lessons he would ever learn about what it really takes to succeed.
So the first thing Goggins realized was pretty profound. His whole life, he'd been quitting way too early. He suddenly understood that our true potential isn't found in our comfort zone. No, it's waiting for us on the other side of what we believe is our breaking point.
He also learned a really hard truth about chasing huge goals. Most days are going to feel like failures. Endurance isn't about feeling good all the time. It's about being committed to keep going, especially when it feels absolutely terrible. And here's the crucial shift in thinking. The bad days, they aren't roadblocks. If you're truly committed, they're fuel. They create this deep hunger to get back out there and just do better tomorrow. That relentless drive is what actually forges success. Okay, so from these really hard-won lessons, he developed 2 incredibly powerful mental techniques to basically weaponize his negative thoughts and turn them into pure fuel. This is where Goggins' mental game gets really interesting. Instead of seeing self-doubt as a weakness, he just reframed it completely. He started telling himself, I feel self-doubt because I'm on a difficult mission. This feeling, it's actually proof that what I'm doing really matters. And this leads right into his next powerful method. You never, ever let a mistake or a shortcut slide. Instead of feeling guilty about it, you immediately turn that small failure into an even bigger victory. Let me show you exactly what I mean. Here's a perfect example. During this totally exhausting workout, Goggins was supposed to do 112 pull-ups. On his final set, he was so gassed he only did 11 reps, instead of the 12 he needed, just 1 rep short. So he went home, but the guilt of that one missed rep, it just ate him alive. It bothered him so much he couldn't even eat his meal. He knew he couldn't let it go. He had to do something about it. So what did he do? He went right back to the gym. And he performed the entire workout, all 112 pull-ups from the very beginning. He turned a tiny little shortcut into a massive win for his discipline. So what is all of this, the failures, the lessons, these mental techniques, what does it all add up to? Well, it's a single, incredibly powerful philosophy for achieving what looks impossible.
Goggins' whole approach is just perfectly captured by this quote from the spiritual leader Swami Vivekananda. True endurance, it's not about these giant heroic leaps. It's about the relentless, grinding process of winning the inches every single day.
And here it is, all laid out. A simple, 5-step framework for building true, unbreakable commitment. You start by realizing your limits aren't real. Then you learn to enjoy the bad days and you use them as fuel. You flip your negative emotions and you turn every single mistake into a chance to get even stronger. And that, of course, brings us back to you. After understanding Goggins' path from total failure to unstoppable success, the only question that really matters is, where are you going to start? What will be your first inch?